Well, I heard that news by the man in the street, how his shades are cool and his thoughts are sweet. Ska music reggae, it's the same old beat, but it's different clothes on a new elite. Oh, yeah.
Two-Tone Miles here. Real excited to be doing this video. This is part 1 in a 9-part retrospective of my favorite ska band, the Toasters. Gonna be covering all of their studio albums. And in a bit of recent news, I was thrilled to read on The Duff Guide to Ska that the House of Soul single is due out this fall, and that the stars will be aligning for an eventual 10th studio album, tentatively titled Life is a Party. So, more music by the Toasters on the way. I'm psyched. And, fun game for those of you who want to play along at home. I think the first time I heard House of Soul was February of 2010, so beat that, see if you can post an earlier date than that. For me, the Toasters, they're kind of the nexus of my own personal ska universe. See, I listened to my fair share of third wave acts in the 90s. Mostly Boss Tones, Catch-22, a whole lot of Less Than Jake for me. But it wasn't really until years later that I discovered the Toasters catalog, and their more traditional two-tone approach ignited my interest, and I began tracing ska in reverse chronological order, back from the third wave to the two-tone movement to the original Jamaican pioneers. I can definitely credit the Toasters with fueling my own interest in ska. Without their music, I probably would have never started making ska videos online. I probably would have never adopted this Two-Tone Miles persona, and I would have missed out on a lot of great bands and a lot of great experiences. So, the music of the Toasters always brings a smile to my face, even on the roughest of days. It's always a treat when they come through town, and so these videos, they're just a humble fan tribute to my own personal favorite ska band. We're going to kick things off at the beginning with Skaboom, or Skaboom, depending on the regional pronunciation. Much in the same way that I worked through ska in reverse chronological order, my introduction to the Toasters started with Enemy of the System, and I began to creep outward from there. So in all fairness, I discovered the first album, Skaboom, last. It was the last album I came to listen to. I should mention that the version I'm talking about is the reissue with the extra tracks. And for me, it was kind of a lot of fun to find that many of my favorite tracks from later albums were first present on Skaboom. Tracks like Talk Is Cheap, Weekend in LA, East Side Beat, Run Rudy Run, all there. So to have so many great songs right from the get-go, I mean, it's just awesome. At 19 tracks deep, the Skaboom reissue, it's just an incredibly deep album, with a lot of great songs. There's just so much good stuff here. Tracks like Shocker and Radiation Skank, definitely a couple of my favorites. There's an interesting continuity where in song Decision at Midnight off of Thrill Me Up references Mr. Trouble, and it's a callback to a track on Skaboom of the same name. One track I really like, ABC, it's definitely an interesting track. It's an alphabetical picture of the New York drug scene in the late 1980s set to song, so definitely a really interesting concept for a song. Really great execution, too. One of the tracks that I didn't pay much to on the first playthroughs, but lately it's become one of my favorites, is Now or Never. So just kind of hiding in there for later listenings as a sort of hidden gem that I'd managed to miss on my earlier playthroughs. So Now or Never, I mean, that's really crept up there to be definitely one of my favorite tracks. Heck, even just the other day I was listening to Razor Cut and was just blown away by the horn solos. I mean, it's a cut that I've listened to so many times, and yet just going out, jogging around town, and hearing Razorcut, it's like, oh my god, the trombone on that, fantastic. While I really like the peppery and energetic version of Run Rudy Run, the Redux from the last album, One More Bullet, there's really something somber and kind of haunting about the original version. Something slow, something tired that really makes it just captivating. I mean, so new version's great, but the original there, fantastic too. A sort of bickering couple back and forth alternating of the vocals on Recriminations, just fantastic. And then you got Matt Davis, the encore song, definitely a fun song. Since it's usually last on the set list, it's also a great sobriety test. Matt Davis Special Agent, those are the lyrics. Can you sing along? You're not drunk. Did you come in early when singing along or forget the lyrics? Yeah, you're probably drunk. So, Matt Davis has been the conclusion to a lot of great concerts that I've been at. And a bit of a nerd confession time here. I've been known to play pencil and paper tabletop role-playing games, and in a game that ran for more than a year, I played a character named Matt Davis as a tribute. I know what you're thinking. Really? The host of Ska and Biology is a huge nerd? I never would have guessed either. It's a real shocker. It's a shocker. There's something truly unique about the sound on Skaboom. I don't know. I'm not a big technical music guy. Maybe it's how it's mixed. At any rate, while the later releases would feature a full and brassy sound, the horns on Skaboom, they have more of a subtle nuance. As such, Skaboom definitely sounds different from a lot of the later releases. Perhaps it's some of the sensibilities of the era of 80s music are a bit more prominent. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it, and for that matter, who says I need to? At the end of the day, Skaboom, it's a watershed album for the American ska scene. It's an album that holds up very well now. It's jam-packed with hits, and as a full-length debut album, I'd place Skaboom by the Toasters in the same class as The Specials by The Specials. Definitely a great album. So, next time around, we'll be covering Thrill Me Up. I'm Two Tone Miles. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.